I voted early for Chris Monzell, and you should too. He doesn't like taxes. Jim Tarbell does.
Who are you again?
I am a supporter of Chris Monzell. He doesn't like taxes. He is running for county commissioner against taxing Tarbell. The election is Tuesday, November 2nd.
Oh, that's right, it's almost election day. But for your reminder, the torrent of commercials by candidates and special interest groups, as well as my 5th grade civics class, I may have forgotten. Why should I vote for Chris Monzell again?
Because he is for no taxes. He will stop the streetcar as Hamilton County Commissioner.
Well, taxation is a salient issue. You have to have some taxation in order to maintain core governmental services. The streetcar, on the other hand, is funded through the city of Cincinnati. If he wants to stop it, he should stay on city council.
But taxing Tarbell is for the streetcar.
There's a difference between being an advocate for the streetcar and falsely suggesting to voters that a particular office, especially one that shares powers amongst 3 members, can stop it. That's like saying I personally will stop world hunger in my role as a claims adjuster simply because I'm for ending hunger. I could care less about the streetcar either way, because I live in Kenwood and work in Blue Ash. However, if it raises tax revenue in Cincinnati, then I guess it's an okay idea.
How can you say such a stupid thing? It's a trolley. Trolley rhymes with folly. And those are bad things. It will be a boondoggle. Chris Finney told me so.
Chris Finney also once told someone to kiss his Finney Fanny, and advocated the right for private landowners to discriminate against tenants based on sexual orientation. To consider him an expert on anything suggests catering to a mentality that remains predominant only among middle schoolers.
Chris Monzell will not be beholden to special interests.
Is this the same guy whose chief of staff runs a secret society called the Vanguard that spends time calling the mayor dainty and the city manager overweight?
He and his staff is completely above politics, and want to find solutions.
Is that why his chief of staff blasts out emails propagating a lie that Steve Driehaus asked to remove a statue of Jesus at City Hall? Or why he uses pictures of intoxicated actors like Rip Torn in mailings in order to scare voters?
Even if he is partisan, that's not a bad thing. We need to stop spending because of the Democrats and their fallout from the stadium deal.
Now you're just making stuff up. The stadium deal was constructed under an all-Republican county commission. If there is one local group that has a tendency to make terrible long-term decisions, it would be them. I shudder to think what will happen if Greg Hartman becomes president of the county commission and attempts to implement his plan of cutting almost half of the funding to University Hospital from the University Hospital tax levy just to get his own house in order.
Well, unlike others, Monzell is a man of solutions. He will get things done.
From what evidence do you draw that conclusion from? Last week, when asked, he could not come up with one new solution in order to reduce the city's $60 million budget gap. While I understand that being in the minority generally insulates you from making the tough decisions or even having legislative accomplishments, the fact he can't even come up with a proposal to change the city or county is striking. Look, I understand he may be a nice and affable guy, and he seems kind and genuine. However, he has hired goons as staff members, and appears to side with individuals that have no long-term plan for the city other than the defending of core services. Can you name one accomplishment Monzell has achieved while on city council? That's what I thought.
You sound like a Silease Republican. Why don't you go ahead and vote for taxing Tarbell, you big liberal?
The fact that you just used Silease and liberal in the same sentence discourages me enough from voting for anyone whom you advocate.
Fine then, I won't tell you about my experience at the Remember in November rally with Chris Monzell and Robert Owens, the Attorney General candidate.
Robert Owens is an active member of the John Birch Society, an anti-communist fringe group of conspiracy theorists that went out of style just around the time Joe McCarthy decided to slander George Marshall. Even William F. Buckley called them a bunch of paranoid idiots.
Well, I want my country back, so I'm voting for them.
Your country hasn't gone anywhere. We still elect people through representative democracy. However, I want my party back. Because of that, I'm not going to vote for Chris Monzell. Jim Tarbell is a good man with a level head and good intentions. I have no problems voting for him.